Somewhere between 20 and 25% of Canadians will suffer from a mental health disorder at some point during their lives, whether it's major depressive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, something called adjustment disorder, alcohol and drug substance abuse, gambling disorder. I mean, there are a number of different mental health conditions. So 2/3 of the folks who are suffering aren't even on the road to recovery or treatment because partly of the stigma.
We're not quite sure exactly what causes that stigma, but we need to educate people to know that it is not a weakness. Many people have it.
It doesn't define who the person is. It's just a part of who they are.
We work in a stressful environment, and that's not going to change. We need to know when we're pushing the limits of that stress. We need to recognize when people are not handling the stress as well as they need to.
For most folks, we think of depression and anxiety as a weakness of character.
Say depression is one way or another, it could be anything. It could be someone happy is depressed, it could be someone sad and they're not depressed. They're just dealing with an issue.
We need to think about what depression is, and when people realize that there are varying levels of it, they'll begin to understand that it can be more common, and that they may have suffered the same situation in their own lives.
You know, when you see an issue in the workplace, somebody doing something dangerous, you don't walk by, you deal with it, you talk about it. The exact same principle can be applied to mental health issues.
We work in a dangerous environment and things happen in a moment's time, right? And if you're depressed and you don't have your mind on the job that you're doing, you can find yourself in trouble fairly quickly.
We have to have conversations and understanding around both dimensions, not only the physical side of what it takes to do a job and be on site, but the mental capacity, the well-being emotionally and physically to be on the job.
None of us have to look really very far beyond the circle of our family and friends to find people who are suffering from mental health disorders. On a personal level, I have family, I have friends, I have children of friends that I know have suffered from mental health issues. And unfortunately, because of the stigma that's attached to mental health, many of these people delayed talking about it, delayed, more importantly, getting help.
When I'm in a team meeting, there's 5 to 6 of us, and you look around the room and you figure, wow, 20% of us could have an issue, and probably maybe does have an issue. And we want to be able to educate those people to be able to step forward.
If we're more compassionate and understanding, it gives the people an avenue so they can become more open. They feel free to be able to talk to their co-workers or their managers.
And the earlier we can detect these kind of disorders and get treatment, the healthier our workforce is going to be.
With education and awareness, that could then lead us to get the help that we need to help ourselves and then help others.
And try to get to the point where we've got a culture where people are open and can talk about mental health issues.
The more we talk about it, that people will feel very comfortable sharing those with their leaders especially, so that they know we can provide them support.
I think people are afraid to speak up, and so there's a lot of people that suffer in silence because they think they're the only one. They're not aware that there's several people out there, probably people you know, your neighbors, your colleagues, your friends. So I think by speaking up, it just starts to remove that stigma that it's okay to go out and get support. It's okay to talk about it.
If we discuss it and everyone talks about it, and the more I talk about it and the more I get people around the company talking about it, then that gets rid of the stigma of it and people are willing to discuss it.
Because as an employee, we want you to be aware of what mental health disorders look like, and we want you to feel comfortable raising those issues.
You know, I think it's very appropriate that employees and individuals have conversations with their leadership, with their cohorts, around their well-being and their mental health.
By us talking about it, we make it open to them to bring issues that they may have in terms of, you know, depression or other mental health disorders.
I think the key element to removing the stigma is for us all to suspend judgment and have an open mind.